Are you a musician looking to turn your passion into a profitable career? Want to know the essential skills you need beyond just musical talent? In this video, we'll talk about all of the essential soft skills every musician should have in order to succeed. From being punctual to staying open to change, these skills will set you apart in the competitive music industry. And I'll share some of my embarrassing stories that led me to become better at these things. Being on time is good. Being early is even better. Arriving early gives you a buffer for things to happen, because things always happen. Whether finding a parking space takes a lot longer than you thought, or your contact gave you the wrong address, and yes, I've had that happen to me, planning on getting there early can really save your butt. Being on time shows that you respect the time of others, shows that you take your job seriously, and helps convey reliability, which I talk about in my last video. But to show up on time, you need to know what time to be there, right? Your contact may have given you the time that they want you there, or they may have given you the time that they want you to start playing. Know which one it is by communicating with them. I recently had a gig where I thought I was there at the wrong time. So I'm here on time to the gig, and there's no one. Nobody's here. Did I show up on the wrong day? Turns out I was just anticipating it being outdoors, but it was actually indoors. This can mean a lot of things, from knowing your music to knowing where to park. For example, let's say your gig is at the Crypto.com arena in LA, and you have to be there at 3 o'clock. If you plan on getting to the venue at 3, you're gonna be late, because you need to know where to park, factor in time to find the space, estimate the amount of time it'll take to walk from your car to the venue with your equipment, and know exactly where in that huge arena you are meeting. I have a checklist to help me remember all of my items and instruments, and this is because of a really embarrassing situation that happened to me. So once I had a gig that was 2 hours away from home. When I got there, I realized I forgot my drum rack. It was too late to try to rent one from a music store, so I improvised by using my bass drum pad like I normally would, and I set up my music stand with my iPad there, and I used GarageBand for the hands. Thankfully, I was using my V-drums that night. Surprisingly, it worked well, and it even caught the attention of a few people who asked about my setup. This incident made me realize the importance of checklists. Taking notes during rehearsal is something that can earn you a lot of points with whoever's in charge. What I mean by that is I have been complimented many times for writing down a note in my music, because that person only had to tell me once, whereas they might have to tell people who don't take notes multiple times. Make sure you actually read and pay attention to your notes, and write them down in a way where you can understand what they mean, because I've had many times where I've written things down and I have no idea what I meant at the time. Communication can be as easy as being responsive to messages. If someone emails you, email them back. They might be waiting on you to move forward with something, so reply as soon as possible. And if you're running late to a gig, let someone know. These things may seem simple to you, and I hope they seem simple to most of you, but you'd be surprised at how many times someone has not communicated something well, and it ends up wasting a lot of people's time. This can be anything from changes in the music to changes in the time of the performance. Whatever it is, be prepared for some kind of change and be flexible about it. With that being said, you want to be flexible, but you don't want to let people walk over you. So this one requires balance and experience, and it's something that will always be a challenge. Remember, honing these soft skills alongside your musical talent will make you a well-rounded professional musician that people will want to work with. Speaking of work, I've been working with Netflix on a highly anticipated show that I can't legally tell you what it is until the show comes out. So subscribe to find out what the show is and to see what it's like to drum for a Netflix soundtrack.